I first arrived in Australia on a student visa, I was looking for work. I had searched for a while before finally landing a job as a pizza writer. It wasn't much, but it paid the bills. The job required me to deliver pizzas at night, which was something I quickly got used to. But there was one area I'd heard about that struck fear into every writer's heart. I had been working at the pizza place for over a month when I got my first order to deliver to the infamous area. It was known for being a haunted, isolated part of town. Writers would talk about it in whispers, warning others about strange occurrences there. But I had been lucky so far. I'd never gotten an order from that area. That is, until one fateful night. When I opened my phone and saw the address, I felt my stomach drop. It was the exact area everyone had warned me about. I had no choice but to accept the delivery. There'd been no choice but to accept the delivery. The roads were empty, eerily quiet, and as I started my scooter, I felt the weight of fear hanging over me. The further I went, the more desolate it became. No people, no lights, just an unsettling silence. As I neared the location, I could see an old, dark bungalow in the distance. The house was surrounded by a large, eerie yard with a few trees that looked like twisted figures in the night. I stopped my bike and walked up to the front door, noticing a strange note attached to it. It read, "If you are delivering any parcel or pizza, leave it in front of the door and do not look back after leaving. Go to the main gate and ring the manual bell there, the kind used in schools since the internet was king. Ring the parcel when it rings, and when you hear the manual bell there, lift on the door and do not look back after leaving. Go to the main gate and ring the manual bell there, the kind used in schools." At this point, I couldn't help but feel a sense of dread wash over me. But I followed the instructions anyway. I placed the pizza at the door, walked back through the yard to the main gate and rang the bell just as the note said. I didn't look back. I left quickly, my heart pounding in my chest. But that was only the beginning. A few days later, during another late shift, I got another order, and to my horror, it was the same location. I didn't want to go back, but I knew I had to. I couldn't refuse the job. As I rode down the same eerie road, I felt like something was watching me. The fear was almost suffocating. When I arrived, I saw the same old bungalow standing in the dark. The note on the door had changed though. This time it read, "You made a mistake. You shouldn't have looked back. Now stand here in the yard, face the house, and loudly say, 'I made a mistake. I am sorry.' Then ring the bell and leave as usual." My fear was overwhelming, but I was too scared to ignore it this time. I did what the note said, standing in the yard facing the house and saying, "I'm sorry, I made a mistake." After that, I rang the bell and quickly left. But the more I thought about it, the more confused I became. How did they know I looked back the last time? I had only glanced in my scooter's rearview mirror. It didn't make sense. The whole thing felt so wrong. The next night, I had to go back again. This time, the note was even more sinister. It said, "You were told to apologize, but you didn't. Someone before you made the same mistake. That person is no longer in their senses." My heart raced. The words seemed to be targeting me personally. How did they know about my mistake? The fear was crippling, but I knew I had to do what the note said. I stood in the yard again, said, "I'm sorry, I made a mistake," and rang the bell. But this time, something inside me snapped. I couldn't stop myself. I had to look back, and that's when I saw it. As it pulled the screen wide open and closed, the door slid aside and rang the bell, and that's when I saw it. From the second floor window, a shadow appeared behind the curtain. It wasn't a normal shadow. It was as if someone was standing there, staring directly at me. My blood ran cold. I quickly placed the pizza at the door and fled, not daring to look back again. The next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about the shadow. It haunted me. How could they have known what I did? How did they know I looked back? The whole situation felt like it was part of some twisted game. But then, a few days later, I received another order. Guess where it was? That same house. This time, I couldn't take it anymore. I was so terrified that I asked a fellow rider to join me. I told him, just wait outside. I'll go in, but I need someone with me. When we got there, my friend's face went pale. He looked at the house and said, "Man, this place gives me the creeps." I reassured him, "Don't worry, just stay outside. I'll be quick." As I approached the house, I could feel the weight of the fear pressing down on me. I knew something wasn't right. I placed the pizza at the door and saw yet another note. This time it was different than the others. It said, "You were told to apologize, but you didn't. Someone before you made the same mistake. That person is no longer in their senses." I stood there staring at the note, and then something strange happened. The front door creaked open, but no one was there. The air grew cold, and I felt a chill run through my body. I quickly rang the bell, got back on my bike, and left the area as fast as I could. I've never been the same since that night. That house, those notes, the shadow in the window, they've all stayed with me. And every time I get an order, I wonder if it's going to be that same place again. I'm still haunted by it, and I don't know if I'll ever find out the truth about what happened there.